Recession this, recession that. Everybody's talking about fear, creating scarcity within the markets, and understandably, most e-commerce brand owners that I now speak to on discovery calls are telling me, Justin, what's going to happen this year? How can I actually make sure that I thrive and survive and get through this and make even more money than last year? After speaking with some of our most successful brands at Wizo Media, I came to the conclusion that there is only one way for you to become recession proof. So in this video, I want to share with you the e-commerce paid advertising funnel that will help you get through this recession without losing money. My name is Justin and I'm the founder at Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. So let's get straight into it. So this is going to be about community building. So I'm gonna start this video by giving you 3 examples. One from one of our clients at Wizo Media and 2 others from brands in the industry that have successfully built a community and what are the advantages of having that right now. But before I get into any of this, I just want to emphasize the importance of having a community and why even I'm gonna share about that in this video. So when you own a community, when you actually own the customer relationship, or at least the potential customer relationship, you are able to tap back into this pool of people at no cost. So as an example, if you're running ads, right? If you're running cold ads and then you do retarget these people, eventually they're gonna fall out of your retargeting pool, or they may even fall through the cracks at the top of funnel stage and you might not ever be able to retarget them. So with that being said, it's costing you a lot of money to constantly target new people that way. But if you're able to funnel them into a community and build a community of people around a similar area to your brand, which again, it doesn't have to be, and ideally it's not even closely related to selling your products, which I'm gonna get to in a second, you will be winning. So first example I want to bring up is one of our brands that we've been working with for a while. So this brand is a Canadian jewelry brand. You've seen it many times on the channel, and they have a following of over 160,000 people on their Facebook page. Now you might be telling me, Justin, a Facebook page is not a community. Well, hear me out. Most of their posts on that Facebook page is completely unrelated to any products or selling. They post a lot of memes, they post news, and they post stuff that is for their target demographic. And this is the key. They know that they're speaking to the average woman in Canada that is usually a white woman from what we've seen in the demographics that is within 30 to about 45 years old. So usually she's a mom. Usually also we've kind of seen that those are not the happiest people in the world. They're tend to be a little bit more depressed. So what do? They spend a lot of time on social media scrolling. They do watch the news quite a lot. They like magazines. They like gossiping. They like shopping. So this page is all about that. It literally is all about creating engagement around this sphere. So something that pleases this potential audience or their current audience of customers, and it works amazingly well for them. So without any ads, they're able to generate about $40,000 to $50,000 a month, literally just from tapping into that community that they've built organically throughout the years. Now, a Facebook page is one way to do it. A second way to do it, which this is an example that is a brand that is not a part of Wizo Media, I just want to say, but that I do look up to a lot because I love what they're doing. If you look at the brand Obvi, which they're a supplement brand, they've built a Facebook group community with tens of thousands of women inside of it. These women share tips about their fitness or weight loss journey. And again, it kind of is a similar demographic to the first one I mentioned from one of our current clients. So they've created a community around helping each other out with, again, a group of women that just gives each other tips and supports one another on their journey to whatever their fitness goal is. So it's actually very good. And the whole environment around that, although it is branded Obvi, it's about creating some sense of fraternity between these women and creating a sense of friendship. And from what I've seen, it seems to work great for them. And the last brand I want to share about it, I was recently watching a podcast, the podcast Don't Be Sour by Max Tuning, and he was speaking to Stephen Borelli, the founder of Cuts, which, by the way, literally right now, below this hoodie and my pants, I wear Cuts. I love Cuts. I've got so many Cuts clothing in my wardrobe. But that aside, they were talking about how they built Cuts, which I thought was very interesting. So how they actually reached a 9-figure level with this brand. And he was talking about a Discord group that they have. I think he said they have 3,000 members, and this was somewhat of a recent thing. And for them, they did it quite differently, actually. They had so many customers at this point that they created some form of like exclusive membership and community that is actually all about the brand, and they've created hype about their own brand. You know, if you follow brands like Supreme or any sort of like hype beast brands, they have those hardcore communities. There's a bunch of Discord servers about that where people are speculating about the upcoming launch dates, about how much stock there's going to be. They try and buy the restocks the quickest. What Stephen Borelli was kind of talking about is how they built a community on Discord that is around that. Like, these guys are looking forward to the launches. Like, he was talking about the fact when they launched a higher tier product. So usually they were selling products that were around the $100 mark, but they decided to sell a red bomber jacket that was a little bit more expensive, and they only had like 500 units, and it sold out like that because the people in the server were just hardcore, diehard fans of cuts, and they were waiting for the launch, and as soon as it came out, they're the first to go out there and buy it. Now, I've given you kind of two different examples. The first two brands I mentioned are clients as well as Obvi. They built a community that is somewhat related to the brand. They do post about the products, they do post about promotions, but it's more about creating a community around the target demographic that you're trying to attract. I'll give you another example in just a second, but Cuts has done something a little bit more different, which for them, it is actually a community around their products, which they create hype and they create some sense of exclusivity about what they're selling, which is another way to do it. But another example, so we've worked actually with a popcorn brand, and I actually told them on a call, I'm like, look, one of the best examples I think for you guys would be create some form of Facebook group, Discord community, whatever, create a community of movie lovers. You guys are selling popcorn. Create a community about movie lovers. Share, you know, would it be spoilers? Share like gossip about new Netflix shows coming up. Create something about movie or TV show lovers and use that to push your products. Like, that's probably the best way. You have your target demographic within a group and use it to push your products. So ask yourself, what do my people like? What do my customers enjoy? What do they do besides just besides just buying my products? So if I took Cuts as an example, another way for them to probably do it is if you know the brand, their slogan is the sports of business. So they are in the sports of business. They could probably have a group of tech guys and share like tech tips and shit and tech setups, and then just like push Cuts very low key on that style of group. Because if you look at most of their ambassadors and if you look at most of the stuff that they're doing, it's a lot of tech guys that work from home that wear their clothes. It's like work leisure. So it's a lot of setup aesthetics, and it could be as low key as having guys posting their setups while wearing Cuts, right? Like, that just could be this whole community that they create around that. Again, it's great because you're not always pushing, you're not always just shoving your products down their throat, but it's always a subtle reminder that this product is there and you own that traffic, which is the most important part. So why do I think this is a recession-proof way of running ads or actually running your own e-commerce brand? It's because you save costs and you save a lot of money down the line. So instead of hoping to get a sale off the bat, you just funnel people towards this community. Would it be, again, a Facebook group as an example? You funnel people towards the Facebook group and you optimize to get as many people as possible within that group. Once they're in there, you can do whatever you want with that traffic. It's like you can quote unquote retarget them forever and ever. You literally can post stuff within that group. It's like it's basically a hack, right? Like, your organic audience, as an example, within your Instagram page or your Facebook page, even then you can't retarget them forever. It's only like 365 days engagement, which you can actually retarget. But if somebody has not interacted with your page for over a year, well, they're gone from your funnel. They might be following you, but you can't do anything with them. Whereas if they belong inside of your group, whenever you post, you're gonna start showing up on your feed. Whenever you post something, a promotion, an event, whatever, you're gonna start showing up. You could do live community events. You could actually have like exclusive product launches for that community. You literally own this traffic. I cannot stress that enough. The importance of owning an audience is key this year, and that is for whatever industry. Like, right now I'm talking about strictly e-commerce because obviously I'm like e-commerce focused, I'm an e-commerce expert, but would it be, again, somebody doing real estate? Would it be running an agency? I think owning your community, owning that traffic is the most important part. So last but not least, the last point I want to make is I had this discussion with one of my friends, Serge, and we were talking about, there was this interview that we both watched from Shamath that he was talking about, I think it was with Lex Friedman, and he talked about Mr. Beast. And he was like, when he was asked, where do you think the market is going? Like, what do you think are the next big businesses? If you had to go back in time, or if you had the opportunity to invest into big tech startups again, would you do it? And his answer was like, I think creators are going to be the next big businesses because they own the eyeballs. They create their own environment within these platforms. They host their communities on these platforms, but they're the one having their businesses and these millions and hundreds of millions in Mr. Beast's case of eyeballs on these platforms. So owning your community is the best way for you to actually go through this recession, to make sure that you lower your ad costs and that you can actually tap again and again and again within the same pool of die-hard fans. So last but not least, I mean, some of the positive consequences of that is that you're gonna lower your cost per acquisition rate, because instead of aiming for a purchase off the bat, you aim for a group member. So it's gonna be much cheaper for you to get people in there. If you do a good job of doing community building, you're probably gonna end up actually saving money on that. And just if not, then you have an opportunity to at least increase your customer lifetime value through time by just always being able to be in front of them. Now, doing so for a man versus a woman audience is gonna be a little bit different. In my opinion, it's probably gonna require more work if you do it for a man audience, because they're less likely to actually join that group. That's just in my experience. Women are more likely to join groups, want to find their clique, their community, whereas men are a little bit more like held back on that. It's a little different. So you're gonna have to approach that technique slightly differently if you advertise for men. You might have to go on Discord as an example, which men tend to be a little bit more on than on Facebook groups, but yet again, it's very more as a case-by-case basis. I'd now like to extend this offer to you where actually we at the agency can help you build your own community as an e-commerce brand through paid advertising. So actually build a whole new funnel for you to not only get sales, of course, but also to build this community, help you get through these next couple of months and save on your upfront cost per acquisition. So if this is something that sounds of any interest to you, check out the description down below and book in a call with our team. Make sure you fill out the pre-call questionnaire and watch the pre-call video to be all set and ready for the call to happen. If you're listening to this video and you are making less than $50,000 per month with your e-commerce brand, then absolutely no worries. Also check out the description down below and join our free Facebook group where we post tons of tips. You're one of the first to know about these upcoming YouTube videos, and you can ask any questions you want to myself. Even some of our team members are within that group, so we'll be more than happy to help you out on then. So on that note, make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll be seeing you guys in next video. Cheers.